Okay, now that we have seen different types of online commenting, we're going to look at now how do we comment? What is the appropriate and what is the expected way for all of us to comment? So, good commenting. Good commenting allows for us to communicate without being face to face. Even though we're not face to face with other people, we still have to think about a couple of things. We need to think about how we write and what we write about. So, whenever we're commenting, we need to always follow the golden rule. When you're commenting on somebody else's work or someone else's comment they have made, always, always, always look for the positive. Instead of saying, that was such a bad comment, or what were you thinking, or that is not okay, you should look for the parts where you can give a positive remark. So how should a comment look? Just like in writing, you should focus on capitalization. So at the beginning of a sentence, on proper nouns, and also don't forget to have I with a capital. Punctuation. Make sure that you add punctuation where you need to, so that you do not have run-ons where all your thoughts are in one long run-on. And make sure your sentences are complete sentences. Yes or no is not a complete sentence. You can say, yes, that is correct, or yes, I agree with the part that you said about this. Make sure you specify what you get your yes is or your no means, or what you think is good, and so on. Whenever you can, make sure you will have the correct spelling. If you don't know it, look it up. The great thing is, especially in Google Classroom, is you can check to see if your spelling is correct. So use the tools to help you. Now, what kind of things should you write about? When you're commenting, make sure you give specific details. Don't just say, I like that thing you said, but rather, I enjoyed how you wrote about your feelings when you saw the tallest building in the world. Don't repeat yourself over and over. Example, I like what you said and how you talked about the towers and how tall they were. Make your sentences very clear and stick to the point. Add information to help a comment if someone asks a question, or if you know information that would be appropriate to add. You could say, wow, you visited the tallest structure? I visited the Macca Tower. Did you know that it is the second tallest building in the world? So here, not only did you comment on what they were saying, but you talked about the information that you knew that could go along with what the other comment was. You can also give a compliment to someone. For example, you did such a great job summarizing in your own words about the towers. Another thing you can do in a comment is ask a question. For example, do you know what happens to the building if there is lightning? So when I'm commenting, I'm staying on task, I'm staying focused to the topic that is being said, and I'm really trying to make what I'm saying clear. Because you're not face to face, people are going to use these comments and they're going to try to understand what you mean. They're only reading the words, so they won't get to hear your tone. So make sure your tone is appropriate through your letters and your words. Never, never, never share personal information. For example, your full name, especially outside of ASFG. Because you have ASFG accounts, it will say your full name. But if you're in another place and commenting, never offer that information. Don't say family information, passwords, your address, telephone number, bank information, or anything like that. So always, always remember that you can praise in a comment, you can ask a question in a comment, or you can give a suggestion. These are what you should be focusing on in comments. Remember, if it doesn't need to be said, Don't say it at all. You don't need to ask, what type of video is the funniest video? If it doesn't relate, save that for something else or when you're talking to your friends. But you need to think about, if I'm in a school place, I need to be commenting that is appropriate for school. If you're in another place, you need to think about, is this appropriate for what I'm doing? So now it's your turn to go ahead and comment.